how I play. So like I'm not good at guessing at all. I'm terrible at guessing. Terrible at guessing. Like I'm really good at like knowing my frame data.
Yeah.
Staying at advantage, doing things like that. Like
I mean, guessing's a bad. It's just a bad strategy.
Well, it's reading. It's reading. You know.
Reading and guessing is the same.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can read well, godlike.
Right.
I can't. I cannot. I'm horrible at reading. So like playing a game that's mainly based on 50-50s is really bad for me. Because I'm like, and the problem is, because it's so based on 50-50s, you're guessing on offense and defense, because you're guessing, I hope they don't block this overhead.
Right.
I hope they don't block this low.
Right.
You know? So even me, I'm guessing wrong on both sides. I'm like, oh, let's go overhead. Oh, they block that? Oh, let's go low. Oh, they block that? Let's go low again.
This game, DOA, at the level I'm at, the lower level, is a lot of 50-50s to me. But I know
there's a lot of guessing in DOA as well.
Yes.
Like, there absolutely is. And that's one of the problems I have with the series, you know? Like, I've been with the series a while, you know, I'm doing a lot with the series, but that's one of the reasons why you don't see me at a lot of DOA tournaments, because I don't like the guessing in it. You know? I think DOA5 is better when it comes to that guessing. Like, you don't deal with it as much as in past DOA games, but it's still there. It's still a very big factor of it.
Well, what have they done to alleviate that in 5 versus 4?
So, for example, you get sit-down stuns, you got critical bursts.
That's true.
You have a lot of stuns that guarantee you attacks.
Yeah.
You know, so basically that's what they've done. They've created more situations where you get guaranteed attacks.
Right.
But
although I have read that with the updates since vanilla, they've removed a lot of guarantees.
Yeah, they have.
So
they have.
Maybe the reason why you don't play.
Well, one of the main things about DOA is the fact that, you know, it comes from Team Ninja, and they're a Japanese developer, and they want to be loyal to the Japanese audience. And the Japanese DOA players like all the guessing.
Okay.
You know, they're very fond of the guessing. They like how the old DOAs played, and they want DOA5 to play like that. So, while the Americans and the Europeans, during the development of DOA5, were fighting to have more guaranteed damage, the Japanese players were like, no, we don't like this, we don't like this. And unfortunately, because Team Ninja is a Japanese studio, they have to cater, you know, they kind of favor the Japanese opinion more than they favor the rest of the world's opinion. So, and it's coming from the higher level players. So like, from a casual standpoint, the games haven't really changed that much. You know, it's just from that tournament higher level standpoint where we're like, we don't like all the guessing. You know, so, you know, and like one of the things that I always said, like for example, at E3 2012 was the first time they had Sarah from Virtua Fighter playable. And she had all of her frame advantage, all of her stuns from Virtua Fighter. Oh, wow. So like, she had all kinds of guaranteed damage. And I said, please, don't touch anything.
Standard.
Like, leave it how it is.
The board.
And, you know, within the next 4 months leading up to launch, that was changed, you know?
But I've noticed the VF characters have kept some advantage,
right?
Yeah,
they have.
So Sega must have had some kind of a say in that.
Well, I mean, they still have to play like Virtua Fighter characters, you know, so they have that going for them. But, yeah, it's just, they've taken away a lot of the guaranteed damage, and, you know, we're hoping that if there is a DOA6 that we can kind of reach a happy median, you know? But we'll
have
see.
You heard anything about DOA6?
I know right now there's nothing official.
Okay.
So, and I know that if it is going to come, it's not going to come this year. And I would personally be surprised to see an announcement next year. I'm honestly thinking if we see another DOA, probably not going to be until at least 2017.
Okay.
But that's just my personal opinion. They could announce it at E3 next year and release it by the end of 2016. I don't know.
I mean, that's fine with me because there's so much to learn on the game that, you know, it's going to take years.
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of going on, and, you know, they got Battle Royale going on right now. Hopefully that reinvigorates the competitive scene. But one thing I've always said is, you know, the competitive fighting game scene is not very large. Even if you look at Smash, Street Fighter, and everything else, compare that to League of Legends, and we're nothing.
Right.
You know, and to me, you need to cater to as much of the fighting game community as you can with every game you release. You know, that's one of the reasons why Killer Instinct plays more like Street Fighter than old school Killer Instinct.
Right.
Not to say that's good or bad, but it caters more toward the Street Fighter players. You know?
Yes.
Like, if you look at a lot of the old school KI1, KI2 players, a lot of them aren't playing KI3. You know, and granted, some of that's because that was 20 years ago and they just don't play anything. But a lot of it is because it's like a mixture of KI and Street Fighter.
And it's gotten more so that way since
absolutely.
Iron Galaxy
took
over, right?
When you have someone like Keats, who is the main combat director essentially, I don't know what his official title is, but he handles essentially the combat of the game.
Right. He's a Capcom.
Yeah, he's a Capcom player.
Yeah.
He knows what the Capcom players want, and that's kind of how he's developed the game. Now, granted, he has kept the KI combo system. He has kept, the base KI. I'm not saying that it plays like Street Fighter, but it plays more like a Street Fighter game than it does a KI game. And again, that could be good or bad depending on what you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not saying either or, but yeah, and that's kind of what you have to do if you want your game to be successful. In the tournament scene. And with DOA, we haven't really seen that, and I think it shows in the tournaments that we've had. Like DOA struggles to get 50 people, whereas in that since day one.
Yeah.
And we see Mortal Kombat topping Street Fighter in a lot of these majors.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat is #2 game at CEO this weekend, with something like 284 entrants or something like that.
Wow.
The only game to beat it was Street Fighter.
Now, have they released numbers for Evo?
Not yet.
That's gonna
Not
be
yet.
interesting.
I guarantee you Evo's going to be over 1,000 for Mortal Kombat. Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. I mean, if Street Fighter's at 2,000. Looks like we have a good fight here.
Yeah, not paying attention, but I don't.
I think it's probably 1-1.
Hey guys, is it 1-0? 1-1?
1-1. Yep.
Hey, this is 2 out of 3. Just let you guys know. Hey,
it's 2 out of 3?
Huh?
Here.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, I like to see DOA do well in the competitive scene, and I think people are willing to try it out. But you have to give them something they want to play, and a lot of people don't want to play a game that's so heavily based in guessing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the DOA scene will tell you, well, we don't want those people. But you know what? Without those people, you end up with 9-player tournaments in Phoenix.
Yeah.
40-player tournaments at EVO.
Right.
That's what you end up with.
I mean, California had a tournament last night and only 14 people. That's LA.
Yeah. And when you're pulling 14 people in LA, there's a problem.
Yeah. So we're doing pretty good here with 9.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying you need to completely remove what makes it DOA. But at the highest level, for example, one idea that I had was make it so that after you stun someone, you have X number of frames to get a free attack before they can counter. Or you can only counter one time during a stun.
Maybe make the stun not happen every time like it does now.
Well, so here's the thing. If you want to keep it DOA, you kind of have to have that stun game, because that's kind of what DOA is.
It does make it fun.
So as opposed to removing that,
yeah,
just give me another layer on top of it. So like I said, make it so that you only get one counter per stun. So it's okay, I've stunned you. Now, are you going to counter? Because if not, I'm just going to launch you.
Right.
Or do I want to extend it more to try to get more damage and then launch you, giving you basically they can even make it so that with each level of stun, you get more chances to counter even. Do something like that. You can do it so that the more that I keep you in stun before launching you, the riskier it gets for me.
Right.
Do something like that.
Idea, yeah.
So that way, if I want to, I can just go stun launch every time.
Yeah.
And that's my guaranteed damage.
But the Japanese don't like that.
Well, but again, what I'm saying is let it so that if you want to do stun, launch, you can do it.